Yeah, boy. Bushishi, Boto. Alright. Pray that everyone is well. Yikes. How am I going to do this? Alright, folks. Hope everybody is good. Hey, Odu Odi. Let me turn the light on. Ashe. What's up, Baba? What's happening? Good to see you. Good to have some OGs in the house tonight. So, anyhow, Odu Odi, she share what it do. What's cracking? What's cracking in the hood though? Oh, sorry, you guys. That's a Cali thing. You guys don't. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't even understand where I come from. Good to see you too, brother. Hey, yeah. So today I wanted to offer Obi and Orogbo, and then Epo and OT. And last week someone asked me to talk about responsibility to an Awol's responsibility to his own Awol. I'm still researching Odu Ifa on that, so please forgive me. I wanted to talk about anger because, you know, I'm trying to manage anger myself and, you know, with family, friends, and loved ones. And hopefully this will be a positive message that people can take and utilize. So as I talk about it, I'm talking to myself. So, aboye. Yes, so let me see, I'll take it back here, right there. How we gonna do that? Put that there, up, where we at? All right. Okay. Ifa. Ifa, we come offering you Obi and Orogbo today. Il est mon père, c'est Jébran mon père, le tout mon père, le mien mon père, le nom mon père. Ifa mon père, Ifa mon père, Ifa mon père. Ifa ward off all death, sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, outright fights, witchcraft, all negative energy. Bring forth to us long life, good spouse, good children, longevity, prosperity, victory over adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, and all the good things of life. Ashe. If I help today to be a wonderful, give birth to a wonderful week. Ashe. Kosi ku kosi fo kosi jamba kosi temele kosi dinala kosi wahala kosi ti uswapo bolo show. Ifa mobei funa lafia funa lera funa fashe funa ire tede wapole funa voto funa wo funa shuru funa farabala funa ya funa mo funa bon. Ashe. Ifa, you accept these Orogbo. So we read your topic Orogbo no akpani Orogbo lo akpani Orogbo lo akpani. Ashe came up as a Jife. If I ward off all death, sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, Ashe, litigation, losses, and all our fights. If I Rumila. Kosi ku kosi fo. Bawa lowo iku, bawa lowo arun, bawa lowo fitibo. If I please ward off all these ajogun for myself, my family, my loved ones. If I will my next 5 days be any rare, Obi akpan. Okana. Jife. Ashe. What type of vida? Haiku? Haiku, Ashe. Ifa, waterfall, death and sickness, bring forth all the good things of life. Guide me, direct me, protect me, keep me safe. Guru, wait, Ifa, Apple is a sibling of Ebo. Apple has now joined with it, making it Ebo. But Allah, we don't you. Allah, we don't you. Allah, we don't you. Allah, we don't you. Ifa, please, give me the sweet things of life. My family, give Kathy Edmonds, my mother, Robert Edmonds, my sister, all my family members and my loved ones, Otura, ogunda bede, Shalak Popola, all my loved ones, give them all the good things of life. Bless Baba Felipe Garcia Villamil, bless Baba Fashegu, bless my mother, my father, Kathy Edmonds, Robert Edmonds, all my loved ones and family members at this time. Bless them. Ashe. All right. Ashe. Okay, so, how's everybody doing? Once again, I wanted to ask your forgiveness because what I'm going to be talking about today is instead of talking about Awo's responsibility to his Omo Awo, I wanted to talk about anger, and I wanted to use two Ose Ifa. So Odi Gunda, the fire used the pot as a cover and moved close to the water. These were Ifa's declarations when Orunmila was going to marry a woman, was going to become the husband of a woman with a fragile destiny. Orunmila, if someone's destiny is fragile, it is their mouth that causes them to slip and fall. If someone's destiny is fragile, it is their mouth which causes them to slip and fall. So, what is this Ifa saying? In essence, what this Ifa is talking about is that for the person who is overly angry, too angry all the time, and says foul and mean things, it says that their destiny is fragile. So what does that mean when we talk about fragile destiny? So in essence, what does fragile mean? Easily destroyed, not strong, handle with care. You ever know a person that you have to walk on eggshells around? This is the person with fragile destiny. You have to walk very closely and calmly and tread lightly because their anger could awaken and as a result, present problems. Just one word can be something that is destructive, is disrespectful. One word, one thing, one reference. You ever notice a person? I remember years ago, one of my elders, he was talking about going to college. And when he was going to college, I remember he said that he didn't pay his tuition for a number, like maybe 2 years or something. And I remember he told us that he was very kind and thankful to, I believe, the president of the school, as well as other members. He was very gracious and kind and always said kind words to them. And I remember he was telling us years later, he was like, I hadn't paid my tuition in a while. I mean, what was up? And the president or someone over the school said, we allowed you to continue going to school because you were gracious, because you said thank you. And he told us he told us and taught us a very valuable lesson. He was like, I went to school off thank you, just off of some kind words. So this is an example in reverse of ogunda, where being a kind and being a kind person can transform one's perspective of you. How you are perceived is based upon oftentimes the things you say and do. Even if you're a good person, all the good deeds in the world can be wiped away with one bad move, one moment of passion where you just decide to destroy your destiny. So here's another interesting Ifa that comes, and this Ifa talks about how your destiny or your anger and your utterances of your mouth can actually get you killed. So okanran tua, the awo of Enu, the mouth. He was the one who cast Ifa for Enu when going to cause the death of Ori, destiny. She was advised to her for Ebo. You have no knowledge and you lack understanding. Don't you know that it is the mouth that causes the death of one's Ori? What is this talking about? Ifa here is saying that if you are mad, at least be quiet about what if like I've seen people who get killed off of speaking their mind at the most inappropriate time. You ever meet a person who just has to prove their point? I gotta prove my point. Sometimes you just need to shut up. Sometimes that's really what it is. Sometimes we need to be quiet. Sometimes we need to stop the communication because it might get so heated that you might say something or I might say something that we can't take back. And if we say something that we can't take back or that we will regret, then it will be destructive. Then we can't be friends. Then we can't be family anymore. Have you ever met family members who have, cursed each other out to such a degree that they can't even really be, how do you repair that? I had a friend and a comrade who got into it with the family member and uttered all his dirty laundry in front of their parents. You effed this woman and you did that and this woman got this abortion for you and da 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 da. And I mean, the two brothers were intertwined in a fight, and the one said all that about the brother, and they came to blows, and to this day they're not speaking. It's like certain things you need to be quiet about. Out here in my neighborhood, your mouth can get you killed. And as in so many other African American neighborhoods that are challenged, or urban neighborhoods that are challenged, out here, there's drama between the Crips and the Crips. Not even the Crips and the Bloods. We got issues with 40 Crips and 60 Crips out here in my neighborhood. So 40 Crips say 40 Hood. 60 Crips say 6-0. And just that isn't even an utterance in anger. That's rather an utterance in stupidity. Or even neighborhood allegiance. But uttering those words could get you killed. Saying the wrong thing at the wrong time can get you murdered. Loose lips sink ships. But Ifa is very clear about that. And also what Ifa is saying here in Okanran Otura is to be very careful and meticulous about the things that you're saying. Right now, I'm going to court with some of my loved ones for Black Lives Matter. They caught a case. And every day I'm reminded that how you present yourself in the world, people are listening, people are watching. It does not matter your intentions sometimes. Sometimes the most well-intentioned person can include a moment of their highest emotional state at the wrong time, at the wrong moment, and then that reveals something about their character and they become judged by it. And when they're judged by it, then that's in essence, that might not be a physical death, but in essence, it's a group death. And it was so deep because how the prosecutor, these brothers and sisters were protesting the murder of these young black men in our community at the hands of police, unarmed African American men and black and brown brothers and sisters at the hands of police. And for them to, everything that they did, friendly fire still, yes, everything that they did is being brought to bear against them, even in the sense of, an errant Facebook message that you write to your boyfriend or girlfriend, cussing them out. It gets pulled up in court. Such and such has a violent nature. They had intent to commit this crime. Whoa. In movement spaces, it's really, 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 really important, because I work with a lot of brothers and sisters in the movement. It is really important to, how do you say this? To couch your words in, maybe if you can't love that person, couch them in respect. And what does respect mean? Don't say or do things that you wouldn't want somebody else to say or do to you. If you have to say give a hard fact or hand the person a hard truth, you have to have the tact and the ability to deliver that message. Oftentimes in Ifa, when my teacher has often taught us as our woes, when you are casting Ifa for a person, and let's say you cast Ifa, so always live by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But on another level, my teacher, Popola, has always taught us, as our woes, as you are casting Ifa for a client and you are giving messages, even if the divination comes out and the first message that Ifa says is death is on this person's head. Is that the first thing you tell that person? No. That's not the first thing you say. It's like, oh, you're going to die. I mean, in essence, you just cursed them. And even if you didn't curse them, they're going to walk away thinking that you did. So the best thing to do is use tact in your delivery. And when you speak to that person, when you're casting that Ifa and you're giving them messages, you got to say something real, but also you have to recognize the purpose of them coming, because whether they know it or not, they're coming for healing. And as an awo, as a priest, it is not your job to damage the client even more. So what you want to do, let them know Ifa says that you will have a very good life. You will have a long life, but you could be challenged by X, Y, and Z. There's a point in which you will be challenged. Your life will be challenged. what you need to do is to offer ebo. This is the solution. But I don't know. I mean, I'm rambling a little bit and I'm staying on topic a little bit. The point is that, we can make references to the Bible even. Life and death are found within the power of the tongue. At the end of the day, it is there. So we always have to be extremely responsible with what we say and how we say it. Ashe, thank you. Word. Yeah, lack of diplomacy, lack of the ability to, just be mindful of what other people, are going through. And I think on a lot of levels with Ifa, we often have a tendency, deeper than this, is a lot of the things that I'll say this, in terms of, for me, this is a challenge that I have gone through because I come from a Christian Black background. And oftentimes, I can admit, growing up, my parents taught me right from wrong, and they taught me correctly. Even though the doctrine was a doctrine that came out of our enslavement, the way that my parents taught me, that doctrine of Christianity is and was correct. All of the virtues the good that I found in Christianity is synonymous with the good that I find in Ifa and Voodoo and so on and so forth. It is merely the doctrine that I have changed, but the ethics, the virtues, the values, and the correctness remain the same. And I think that that's something that a lot of people in African tradition are afraid to say. You know what I'm saying? Because what ends up happening is it's almost like, well, I ain't in that, so I ain't got to adhere to any of that. Ashe, we ain't got to adhere to any of that no more. No, you have to adhere to that even more, because in Ifa, you are always held accountable. That's the deep thing. The doctrine in terms of Christianity, you have these like you've heard tons of adages of murderers coming and confessing their sins to a priest, and all of a sudden they're absolved, and when they die they get welcomed in the pearly gates. Hell no, that ain't true. Because that doesn't make sense. That's stupid. Like, you're gonna be held accountable for your deeds. We all get held accountable for our deeds. Hence, anger. And I think that in mentioning anger and so on and so forth, when we talk about, movement space and things like that, there's a certain time when you have to defend yourself. And there's a certain time when there's need for quote unquote righteous indignation. I take a step from Bruce Lee. I remember I think in the Jeet Kune Do, Bruce is talking about, I remember he said something about, hit with intent. But then also he said it's not anger, and he was saying when you are hit, when you are accosted, and so to speak, or when you're attacked, the fist, it doesn't just, oh my God, I've got to hit them back. No, it reacts on its own. That's what he said. That's how the wrong we do becomes, comfortable with. Yeah, we become comfortable with that wrong. But I'm just saying, on a certain level, when we talk about anger and justice, two different things. It is unjust that in Nigeria, the leaders of or the political leaders in Nigeria work so hard. Yes, emotional content, very good. Lacking emotional content, but like the leaders and the political leaders in Nigeria, for certain hours of the day, they cut off the electricity and the people have to use generators, or the water is not good. That is cause for righteous indignation. That is cause for protest and uprising. Slavery. That is cause for righting a wrong. Justice. But I think the issue at hand is, how do we then wage this battle without becoming overly emotional and overly angry? I studied Zen Buddhism and along with my martial arts training, and I remember one of my teachers was like, an emotional warrior is a weak warrior. An emotional warrior is a weak warrior. When we couch anger in the sense of emotion, overly emotional, it is just as Odi Ogunda says, it is one's mouth that allows them, or that causes them to slip and fall. It is one's hasty emotions, hasty utterances that causes them to slip and fall. And it is their own hyped up, pumped up attitude that allows them to fall. And oftentimes most people who exhibit this behavior excessively don't even know. Anyway, I don't know, I'm kind of on the soapbox right now, but that's what I wanted to share for today. And I wanted to ask if anybody has any, comments or thoughts on other topics that we can deal with and address through Ifa. Please let me know. I think that one good thing is, I think what we can talk about next time is, how do we use our traditions in movement spaces to gain social justice? How do we do that? Because we have to. We're black people. The other thing about it is, I think about this, and I'm sorry, I know I'm going off on my soapbox again, but you think about, like, in African American Christianity, black folk Christianity in America, the majority of our leadership has come out of that. Nat Turner. Even Marcus Garvey espoused the Christian doctrine. Martin Luther King, so many others. But I'm just saying, I'm going to challenge us, as I guess next week comes around, or not next week, but the end of the week, which next time I do this will be on Saturday. But I challenge each of us as African people to think about ways that great leadership here on American soil for black people can come out of Ifa. How will that happen? How can we make that happen? How will that occur? What does that look like? Because I don't care what anybody says in the sense of saying, well, it's multicultural. Yeah, it is. But we have to be clear. And we have to be about the business of our ancestors. That is the one thing that these powers that be cannot control, is the people who are focused on their destiny and have power through their spirit and other means to implement it. So anyway, hit me, let me know what you think. What do you think a good topic for next week would be, aside from talking about social justice and movement spaces, and incorporating, our work into that. So anyhow, I pray that everybody has a good week, and that all the good things of life come to you. Aboro, aboye, aboshishe. Peace.